Parenting. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Hello, and welcome to our podcast, the 2 a.m. Club.
The Honey Bunnies.
How you doing, my baby? What a great morning we had this morning, right? Actually, great week. Fever, right? And not like dancing fever, stuff like that. Actual 38, 39.5 fever from our little child.
Exactly. It started when Tuesday night, I think. And but we had a break of 2 months, which was.
You mean of sickness, not of the child, right? Can't ever break away from a child. Right? It's forever.
That's true.
It's forever.
Yeah. So. Yeah, we had a fever week, and just this morning we realized that he has a rash on his back and his trunk. And yeah, luckily we already reached out to our doctor, and most likely it is Rosella.
Rosella. I don't know. It's called fifth disease, also known as fifth disease. And
yeah, I just said. I mean, raising a child also makes you half of a medical expert.
Roseola.
Ooh,
I mean, it sounds
fancy.
kind of cute. Roseola infatum, or 3-day fever, or fifth disease. She's like, it's going around in the nurseries, not fatal, and lifelong immunity.
Meaning you can't get it again. That's a good thing. But yeah, let's see. I mean, I hope that the worst is over, and now that's not the second thing after the fever that he already had the last week. So.
Yeah. So that's.
So somehow this feeling tired is a constant, even after a year of baby, I would say. But let's start our podcast. I mean, we're getting started already.
Well, I mean, it's about parenting, and I mean, I think this is one of the most recurring problems in parenting is sickness. Yes, but I mean, that's actually great because it goes right into the second question on our demo: is what is the biggest surprise from your experience as becoming and being a parent? It's the amount of diseases that there are around that you never thought existed, such as hand, foot, mouth disease, or roseola, or all these other interesting stuff that they catch at nurseries and whatnot. But anyways.
Yeah, that is definitely one of the surprises, but maybe not the biggest one. What was your biggest surprise?
Oh, great way to switch it around and put that question right on me, right?
Exactly. My brain is still a bit slow, so let yours work first.
I think for me, the biggest surprise was how tough it was going to be on our relationship. I think that was the biggest surprise. I mean, kids are not easy, right? That's for sure, but I didn't think that our relationship would have been so much under stress as the way it did, and I really want to emphasize on did. I mean, there are moments where it still kind of pops up, where we kind of disagree on some stuff, but those first months were fucking tough. Right, those are really, really hard, and we never fought. We never fought because she always, said that I was right and followed what I said.
Yeah, exactly. That's really who I am.
I was like, we do this, and she's like, yes, of course. We do this, and am I right? Yes, you're always right.
I mean, I like always to compare it with suddenly you are colleagues and you're working on the same project.
Yeah.
I would say before we were a team and we had our roles, but we were not working on the same topic together. Yeah, we had each our own topics, which were complementing each other. But now suddenly with a baby, you have that one project together. And I mean, we're both pretty strong-headed. You're in a situation where both of you actually have zero clue on what to do, and then you have to figure it out together, and there is so much conflict potential. And in our situation, I mean, we were honestly very fortunate because we were both at home the first month, but
First
at the
couple
same
months.
time, a couple months, so but at the same time, this of course also creates a lot of room for conflict, right? Because we did everything together, we went through everything together. I think, as you rightfully said, we never really fought before, and suddenly, really very, very stupid things as well. I mean, I remember that one fight we were going.
Alright, the first fight we ever had. The colostrum.
Okay, I mean, honestly, I don't really remember that too much. I mean, I do remember, but it was also kind
That's
of
how
funny.
fast it started in the hospital.
Yeah, true.
Just the first couple days he was out, and it already started.
Yeah, true. So what happened here, Munaui, after the birth, he had to stay in the NICU for a couple days. So I had to pump to make to make my milk come. And so the first days you have this very thick fluid thingy coming out of your boobs, which is called colostrum, the gold for the baby apparently, giving them lots of nutrition that they need. Okay, so what happened? Antibodies and so on. So anyways, but it's very, very few. It's just a couple of drops. So what happened was I was pumping and massaging and trying to encourage my boob to produce this gold, and then Mo was there with the syringe trying to catch it. And of course, because it was so hard to get there, every drop that was not caught
was gold.
I was literally yelling at him, get this one, and don't do this like that, do it like
and
this.
God forbid that I couldn't catch it, and then it kind of dripped onto the blanket or it dried up, and she would just go mental. She would just go, God, I can't believe you did that. He's already in the ICU, and just and I was like, my God.
Yeah, but okay. I mean, for me, that one was not a real fight. At least I didn't feel it this way.
Oh, I felt it.
Okay. I think, anyways, for me, those days, I guess, are still kind of blurry. But what I clearly remember was the fight about the scarf when we were wanting to go to the mall.
Scarf.
Yeah, we were here in our just getting ready to go for a little walk in the mall, and it was about, and I wanted to take the scarf. Remember, I told you, can you please take the scarf? And then you said, anyways, you never use it. And I was exploding just because you said that. And I think this is interesting because
Is that the scarf? I think it wasn't the mall. Weren't we supposed to go in the car?
No, we were supposed to go to the mall, and you're like, anyways, you never use it.
Which is true. You can't even say I'm not right.
Majority of the time, but sometimes I might need it because I'm cold. You never know with the air condition, Okay, anyways, I mean, definitely not a topic to explode,
Yeah, definitely not.
But I did, and I think one of the reasons why you so easily explode is because a baby uncovers all your insecurities. Everything comes up, because I remember you got always super angry when I asked you, in the bag that you pack when you leave with the baby, there's a lot of stuff that you have to bring, and then I was asking, hey, did you bring the milk? Actually, in a very nice way, and you would explode. Why would you ask that? Do you think I can't do it? So your insecurity coming out, whereas my insecurity with, what, you think I can't decide by myself whether I need my scarf? That was very, very confusing.
Yeah, I think insecurity, and also the fact that you're doing one job, and you really put it, when you said it that way, was the most, then it really became obvious. Yeah, it's the fact that we're working together on the same project. Yeah, and like we love each other, we work great together in our own zones, yeah, but on the same project is a totally different thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is also like this podcast. I mean, it's also kind of funny because we're working on the same project, but we also haven't had really any kind of conflict or whatever.
No,
Right.
that's true. Yeah.
But again, it's very different from a child, right? Because, a child has a lot more responsibilities and all the other stuff that comes with it. So even all of those micromanaging or macro and all those other stuff kind of really come out on how you would do it. And then the other person is like, well, I would do it this way. And you're like, well, I mean, that's not how I want to do it.
Yeah, this is really changing the diaper, putting on the clothes. Do you put a hat? Don't you put a hat? And somehow these decisions feel also at the moment super crucial, but honestly they're not. Actually, these little creatures are a lot more resistant to stuff than we think. But of course, you're just, you want the best, your partner wants the best, and somehow sometimes those ideas on what is the best are not the same, and then it clashes. But yeah, it clashed a lot. I would say maybe not in the first month, because I was still pretty.
You were depressed in the first.
Yeah, exactly. Because I was very down. I think it was
very down was a.
Yeah, well, I was depressed. Yeah, no,
you were depressed.
Yeah. I was really not doing well. Yes.
I think this would be another surprise that I had, but I want to go back on that insecurity part because it's very interesting. Because we both had, and for me, my insecurity was I wanted to make sure, and I know I will never be able to be that, but I wanted to be the best dad ever that I could be. And my insecurity was this always questioning if I'm doing this or I'm doing that, or when people were questioning the way, and I was like, no one asked this to you, right? And the way I put it was how women are in the workplace or trying to gain their spot in the whole patriarchy and this whole, how things are in today's society is my battle now, trying to be the stay-at-home dad. Because I'm in a zone where there's not many of me, right? And so I'm always having to prove myself the same way, like you always have to prove yourself at work. Yeah. And so my insecurity, and I never saw it that way. Yeah. And it really was like, oh shit, it's really my insecurity, and I have to work 2 times harder than a normal mom, yeah? Because for them, society sees it as something as norm. Like how many times I go to a coffee shop during the day with Munaui, and then the waitress or somebody comes like, oh, where's your mom? That's why he's crying. I'm like, bitch, shut the fuck up. Like what is wrong with you? Like, if my wife was there with my kid, would you come and he was crying? Would you come and was like, oh, where's your dad? Well, that's why he's crying. Like, no, and there was, the insecurities really started building, like little by little. And then when I really saw that, and then I was like, okay, I need to, don't
But
worry.
I think one of our solutions here was that we, at some point then really divided the tasks. So for example, with the bag, I knew that you were very sensitive if I asked something. So I just said, okay. And you never forgot anything. So I was like, okay, no need to ask anymore. I'll just don't. And this is, I think, super good also in terms of splitting this mental load, right? And I think we have found that now. So there's just certain things I don't think about. Whether the bag is the bag is packed and the bag is packed. I don't check. I don't think about even. So now the thing is, if I need to pack the bag, I'm like, what is it that I need? but
I will pack the bag before I go. So.
Exactly. So no, but I think this is really good. Whereas other topics are more on my side, where I think about it. Yeah, for example, the clothing part. So I was always making sure he has clothing, shoes, and so on. Yeah?
He has diapers and a wife beater onesie. That's clothing for me.
Yeah,
to be fair.
Yeah, but I think this is how now things work so much better, because we not both think about everything together. Yeah, because also it's too much.
We don't have to.
Exactly, and it's also too much because there's so many things you have to think about, and if you have to do it all alone by or if you both do it, I mean, it's just a waste of energy.
No, but it was the same. Like I think what we applied our logic to how our relationship works, to our parenting skills. We thought that parenting, it was something we have to do together, which we do together, but not everything has to be done together.
Correct.
You need me, but I need phone.
And I remember I read that somewhere and I really loved it, where it said that it is good that parents have different approaches for parenting. It's good for the child to see actually different ways.
Mm.
I'm like, oh yeah, actually that's great. Like if he's with you, you're a lot more relaxed when he's jumping and doing stuff, like jumping
As
right
long
and
as
left.
it's not really-
I get more scared. So when he's with me, I'll be a bit more protective or not let him do it this way or that way. But actually, it's good. Yeah, it's not a problem. We don't need to do it. We're just different
Exactly.
people, and that's fine. And I think that acceptance and also that split of tasks, that really helps
I think
here.
as long as the base is the same, right? If we're pulling in the same direction, is the same. That's the most important. How we pull and how we do it, that's to each our own, yeah. As long as the other person agrees with it, of course. But I think that's very important, yeah. So
Another topic that I wrote down here regarding what was my biggest surprise, actually how physically hard it was on my body. I did not expect that. So, when they talk about C-section, I don't know, that no one really talks about that this is a major surgery and you do need time to recover. And I was very...
time, if you were to have this surgery without giving birth, right, because it's 7 layers of your stomach that's being opened up, you would have 6 months off work, technically, right?
Yeah, I think we checked it before, 6 months, 4 months, something like this,
yeah, 4 to 6 months off work, unless you're in the US, which you would get nothing. But yeah, I mean, if you're not having a child and you're going through a C-section because they have to remove something out of your stomach, you would have 6 months off, or 4 to 6 months off. But you're just expected to, here's your child, and raise it.
Yeah.
And heal at the same time, mentally and physically.
And I would say I was still quite lucky, so I had no complications afterwards, everything was healing fine. But still, I mean, you have to heal, and you still have that major belly. My belly didn't go away, that was my first question.
It's going away slowly.
No, but I remember directly after birth, you think, that massive baby is out of your body, and then the belly would reduce drastically, but actually it didn't. I didn't know that. I was surprised, and until today, my feet hurt. In the morning when I wake up, I still feel today that the physical part. So that was surprising to me. Most probably it's also my age. I remember in the hospital they said the perfect age for a woman to have children from a physical perspective is when you're 90. So I was almost 20 years older
So
than
if
that.
you need to look for a second wife, she should be around 20-ish.
Yeah, exactly. Go right ahead.
No, thank you.
And yeah, I think, and then of course there's the weight topic, and some women get the stripes. Luckily I also didn't have them, but yeah, your body changes. My boobs.
Yeah, but you were oiling every day with that great oil.
Yeah, but it's genetic. I mean, that I think also
genetic,
stuff.
and Mama
Also didn't have it. So I think some women just get it, and some even get it just last minute during birth. They didn't have anything for 9 months, and then during birth. So I don't think you can really do anything about that. But of course, you can struggle with that when it's there afterwards. Your body is changing. For example, my boobs. I loved my boobs before, and I got massive boobs with the milk. I had so much milk. Boobs. And well, no more milk. So yeah, now. How do you compare it?
It was like when you crack an uncooked egg in a pan, in a Teflon pan, so it's firm yet wiggly at the same time. You know that?
Yep.
You know
exactly.
what I mean? Uncooked, not the cooked, uncooked.
Exactly.
So it's there, but foobly.
Yeah. So now I need a bra to actually hold it up, which I didn't before.
Now,
So.
boobs before were like perky, like ding. Now they're like dong.
Ding dong.
At least it's not one ding and one dong. Imagine if it would be like. Imagine if it was like ding dong, like one up and one down. That would be even more hilarious.
Oh my god. Yeah. So these things happen, and it takes time to accept. So I have accepted my boobs.
But they're beautiful boobs.
They are. Honestly, I got an objective opinion from my gynecologist. She said they're beautiful.
Objective. This was before we paid, right? Very
Well,
objective.
well, no. I mean, the most important is that you feel comfortable in your body, and I think a lot of women don't after giving birth. Yeah, and
Of course,
objectively, I mean, from someone from the outside, he or she might not even see it, but it's all about yourself and how you feel. And this takes time. I had to buy a completely new wardrobe because nothing fits anymore. This is still my shoes because my feet got bigger. So that's still. I mean, I'm still working towards my wardrobe because I love my clothing. So let's fingers crossed that I'm gonna reach that. But yeah, I might not. And it took time to accept that. Yeah. I really didn't expect it.
Do you have like when you touch the scar? How does that feel? Is there a little bit? Because I'm sure now it's all healed and everything, but is there some kind of like phantom pain, or sometimes you feel?
No, physically I really don't feel anything. So I know that some women experience some numbness but honestly it's really completely fine. I feel completely fine there. It's more the emotional part.
Do you look at it sometimes and?
Seldom.
Seldom? Is there a reason why you don't want to look at it?
Yeah, I think
so
I'm
it's
still avoiding it because now just thinking about it makes me tear up already. So I remember the session I had quite closely after, not closely, maybe 6-8 weeks after birth, when I had the yoga session with Faustine, and then we had one of those more meditating sessions, and where I then had to touch the scar and so on. So, and I was completely tearing up and crying and so on. So it's not as strong anymore, the emotion, but it's still there. Yeah?
I think it's
just a scar of what happened that day.
Yeah, I think it's the same for me. I cannot look at it. Also cannot. It's very hard. It's very, very hard.
But okay, let's come back to.
I think this is also. I mean, it's also very surprising. It's like sex. We haven't had sex in quite a while, and one of the reasons why, for me, I'm very afraid that you're going to be pregnant again, even though we protect and everything. It just really, really frightens me. I never, ever, 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 ever want to go through what that day went through. I never want to do it. Like, just thinking about that. It's not that I don't love you and your body and everything, but it just really scares me that you're gonna be like, wow, we're pregnant again. I'd be like, well, fuck. I don't, because I know that, yeah. So I think this is also a very big surprise for me. I think this is something, I think the mental depression, because I hate the word baby blues. I think it's such a, it diminishes the power of what you're going through as a parent. I think the mental load, this depression, it is a depression. That's why I called it it was our PTSD, this whole birthing thing, But I'm very surprised on how mentally, how tough it was. And tough it is still. And for me, the podcast is very therapeutic almost, because I get to kind of talk about it, and hopefully someone out there is, might be going through the same and can also kind of have a little healing or something. But I think that was another big surprise for me, was the depression that we went through.
Yeah, because remember, I even had the preeclampsia that I got at birth. So that's very seldom. This is, in German it's called Schwangerschaftsvergiftung. I think in English it's like a poisoning, a pregnancy poisoning. So you usually, the women that get it during pregnancy, and have to be super, super careful. I think even lay in bed. And so I got it at birth, and this causes very high blood pressure, and it's actually very dangerous. I could have just looked down any minute. I had to check my blood pressure 3 times a day. I took blood pressure medication. Luckily, it was only for around 3-4 weeks, and then everything normalized. But yeah, this is things that all come on top. Yeah, and of course they're connected with the mental. I firmly believe in that everything is connected.
But the crazy part is, most of the surprises we had nothing to do with Munaui. It was something like the child part, raising a child. It's
Yeah, I mean, surprising. What was surprising about Munaui? I mean, at the first month, to be honest, there's not much parenting. I mean, you
Yeah,
have
it's
to
just
feed.
survival.
Yeah, just survival.
Emotional. What was it Dr. Barbara said? If it cries,
I mean, it's either no, not Dr. Barb, like
Or was
someone
it
else
Brenda?
told me that. I really and I love that advice. Okay, when a baby cries, it's either it either pooped and need a new diaper, it's hungry, or it's sleepy, it's tired. So it's one of the. It's usually one of the three. So you know, you just
or it needs to burp.
Oh, it needs to work.
Exactly. Pooed, it either pooed or peed, so it's diaper change, burping, feeding, or tired.
Yeah.
Was literally all
Yeah.
those. And if you can do those 4 tasks and everything passes, and there it goes your day. That's pretty much it, right? That's
Yeah, right. So that was, and that was a great tip, to be honest.
yeah. That for me was every morning I woke up and I would go to his crib. I mean, that was my little treat for the morning. I would wake up after a rough, non-sleeping night, and I would be like, okay, he's alive, he's good. I'm gonna tap myself on the back for doing a great job, because that was the only job that I needed to do. I think it also surprising was how hard yet simple the tasks were. Simple task, but so difficult.
True, yeah, because it is really surrounding all these 3, right? Changing diaper, cleaning baby, feeding baby, sleeping.
Burping is so important.
Oh my god.
Let's
and
not
it's
forget
so
the burp.
hard. So after feeding they have to burp because otherwise they will be uncomfortable and not eat again and throw up and I don't know. So it's
I think the burp, and breastfeeding. I think those are the 2 most. Changing diapers, I can do that with my eyes closed. Flip flop, boom boom. I can fold it in. That's easy. Bathing, not a problem whatsoever. Don't drown the child. That's it. That's literally all you have to do, right? That's all. You just don't drown it. Make sure you massage oil after it's dry and everything. Keep it warm. You're good to go. But the burping, so many different techniques.
And then I remember we started because we used those wet towels first to clean his popo, but then he got rashes, so okay, we changed to water. So we just put him under the sink and clean with
Water and soap and dry him up with a cotton towel.
Yeah, and honestly, I didn't change any diapers because I wasn't allowed to carry him after the C-section, so I couldn't even hold him in the sink properly. So yeah, I'm definitely not the diaper changer master here. So, which is also fine. Which again is fine, and I think that is also you don't have to do it all.
No child goes up to their parent and be like, "How many diapers did you change when I was a baby?" Like, no one cares. Like, this is the last thing, you know.
Exactly.
Like,
it's
no
important that
cares.
it gets changed from whom or how often.
No one really cares.
Exactly.
There's so many things that, you know, I look back now as an adult and I'm like, I don't even ask my parents this kind of question. Like, did you breastfeed? Yeah, now, okay, I ask my mom, did you breastfeed me? And how long did you breastfeed me for? Yeah, and the only reason why I asked that question was not as not trying to judge or anything. I just wanted to know. And actually, she never breastfed me because she had really big boobs, but she had no milk coming out. So, and it was the same for us 3 kids, right? So I'm like, okay, great. Okay, that's good news. And she didn't feel bad about it. She didn't, you know.
Yeah, I think we were lucky on the breastfeeding part. We didn't get any pressure. So
I think that was really good.
Yeah.
I think we got more pressure from the outside.
It's more all these social media and so instead
a lot of other parents also.
And other, like, oh, are you breastfeeding? So yeah, that is all the outside pressure, and I think something comes that indeed intrinsically. I think you have this thinking of you have to provide for your child and you have to make it grow and feed and so on. So I think it's not only extrinsic; it's also really coming from inside. Some of the pressure, but no, I think we were quite lucky that my mom was also telling me, I mean, if it's not good for you, stop and don't suffer. I remember also I got that tip from one of our friends who said she also got depressed after the birth, and she said, Svenja, if the breastfeeding doesn't work, just stop it, it's okay. Like, don't put that pressure on you, it's fine.
Yeah.
And just hearing this, because you don't hear that. And I also...
What you do hear is like, oh, you need to breastfeed for
Exactly.
the longest possible. But
Exactly.
no one is out there saying you don't have to. If you can't, and if it's too painful or it's too bad, then don't do it.
Your mental
It's
health
fine.
is always first, because no one, the baby feels your situation.
Happy parent, happy baby.
100%. And I think everything we've done so far is really along those lines.
Oh yeah, we make ourselves happy in order to make Munaui happy. Yeah, I mean, if we're happy, he's gonna be happy. If we're miserable, he's gonna be miserable.
Yeah, exactly. So, any other surprises? I'm just thinking.
I think one of them was our parents. I think that was quite surprising, right?
Yeah. That the support was less than we thought.
Yeah, I think it was a little bit of the support side.
Maybe not just parents. I think in general, our feeling so alone. I think we underestimated the situation that we do not have direct family here in Dubai.
Yeah.
And of course, that makes it quite difficult for anyone in the family to support. And
I think because we lived as expat for such a long time that we thought it wouldn't be problematic because it was never a problem before. But yeah, I mean, there's a reason why they say it takes a village to raise a child.
Yeah, and every hand counts.
Oh yeah, every hand counts. Yeah. Even every finger. I mean, like every single, but true.
Yeah, and true. We underestimated that. That was definitely just having a grandparent coming over and taking the baby for an hour,
cooking,
or
like
cooking
hot
something.
Meal.
Yeah.
Sophia, thank you again. Still, that was for your lasagna. I remember that. That was one of the greatest gifts we ever got. She gave us such a great gift. She came to the house, took Munaui, and had a hot lasagna for us. That and the noise, the white noise machine. That was so good, and the box. But just that gift alone,
yeah, that also makes me tear up.
I know. But that was just so sweet. Just like, and if you guys have the friends out there that just have kids, that just had a baby or struggling or whatever, just go over there, take the baby for a little bit, cook them a hot meal. You don't even need to cook them. Just give them a hot meal. And trust me, that's gonna be the best thing ever for them, because we were eating cold food, like dishes were piling up, because you can't do everything. You need to sleep when the baby's sleeping. You need to, so, and I was just trying to juggle everything at that time. I was trying to cook, clean, and everything. And at one point, you just kind of break down, and you're like, I need to sleep. I need to do that. And just her coming over with that lasagna, I think that was another surprise. Is like that little something that I thought it wouldn't count, but it really counted.
Yeah. This was really amazing, and I think that was also one of the surprises. So I think a hint that I would give everyone who's pregnant right now, expecting a baby. Try to set up your support system as best as you can. Ask for help if you need it. That's also something, because especially people that didn't have kids before, they simply don't know. They have no idea what you're going through. So because it was the same for us. We were not there for our friends that had kids like that, because we had no idea how it feels. And I really regret this today. I think just.
But we make it up pretty good with our friends that have kids now.
Yeah, we're trying. Exactly. We're trying.
I think also one of the biggest surprises how much. I mean, my wife for me, Sonia, already is an amazing person, career strength, person strength, but also being a mom strength is something. This is a new facet of you that I didn't see before, and this is also a big surprise of how much it's just like, wow, just so beautiful. When I see you when I knew me, and I want some once in a while when you're trying to teach them Excel or reading about the global financial blah blah blah, or you're like, this is 1 and this is 2, or in German, eins, Munaui, eins, zwei, Munaui, zwei, Munaui, drei, when I knew Kai, you know, so I'm also kind of sitting there like, oh my god, he's barely a year old, like, but also very cute. And I'm like, I just imagine the patience you're gonna have when he has to actually learn numbers and addition, and he's gonna be Munaui 1 + 1 0. No, Munaui 1 + Oh, I already feel sorry for him now. But
Yeah, I'm not surprised. I mean, I knew that you would be an amazing dad. And I
it's still my biggest fear.
I know it is, and it's so unjustified because you are amazing.
No.
You know, this morning it was the cutest. So he had, I think it was 6:30, and I say goodbye to sleeping in. 6:30 is already great.
It's a lucky thing I was already a morning kind of guy.
Yeah, same here.
I also like to drink during the day, so that's perfectly fine.
Yeah, so what I wanted to say, I mean, he opened the door by himself to a bedroom and running, you know.
We need to turn the key now. We need to lock that door.
Good idea.
I need
Good
my safe
thinking.
space.
Good thinking. And he's running, you know, and then he comes to Papa's side of the bed, and I mean, that just melts your heart. And
I think it was because I was the closest to the door.
I don't think so. No. I mean, Daddy is number one. That's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
That is for sure. But this is heartwarming, and I mean, let's talk about because I know we talk a lot about the tough part, but let's talk about the fascinating. I call it fascinating because for me it's fascinating. To see a little human grow and what he can do today compared to a year ago, from changing diapers.
You still change diapers now.
You still change diapers.
It's not like you can sit on the toilet and wipe his own ass yet, yeah?
Not yet. No, but you know, learning words, saying mama. I mean, for me, I would say one of the most heartwarming experiences were the day when he started walking. I mean, when he did his first steps, that was
also his first crawls, even his first belly, when he went on his belly, when he could turn on his own, that was everything.
Yeah, that is really nice, and I think similar to why I really enjoy actually being in a partnership, because you can be very happy being single. Yeah. You can be very happy being single. Don't laugh too much, huh? But what?
All right, we're done. Bye.
But
Daddy's gonna go out for milk.
But it is just really, really nice to share all these experiences with someone, to have someone to share your life with, and that's how I see Munaui. He's now the second person that I'm sharing my life with, at least for a certain amount of time. At some point,
18.
he's
18
gonna
years old,
have
and
to
then he needs
live his
to get
own
out.
life.
Exactly.
But
It's not gonna be no Minecraft boy in our basement at 23.
definitely not. No.
No, you gotta get the fuck out.
Yep.
We love you, but get the fuck out.
But yeah, and I think this is the fascinating part, that you just have another person sharing your life with, and you can share all your wisdom and your experiences and your thoughts, and this is incredible.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. Just seeing him grow, it's just the growing part I find amazing. Also, I think there's a lot of philosophical question that comes into mind for me a lot of times. I look at him, there's a lot of stuff like how simple some things are that make him so happy, and we complicate our lives so much to make us feel happy, but sometimes just those simple things are just as important. There's also, just seeing him grow, just seeing him run and walk and laugh and dance. Now he dances. So in the beginning he was dancing with his lower part of the body, and now he dances with his upper part of the body, right? And the words that he says more and more words. I mean, his first word was a German word,
Auto,
which means car. And I'm guessing the only one of the reasons why he said that first word is because he really loves to look out through. We have a beautiful view in our apartment, and he really enjoys just standing at the window and looking down. and he sees all the cars all the time. And so it was auto. Then the second word was
Dada, which was papa.
papa. Now he says papa. Then it was mama, and then caca, which means poop in French, and titi. Like now this is his big word now, and he likes to use titi, which means boobs in French also, but in Tahitian French, which is really funny. So he will look at his nipples and he goes titi, titi. I just find it very funny.
Then he likes hi means shark.
Shark, yeah. So yeah, that's also crazy. Like the other day when I went to the aquarium with him, he was looking at the sharks. He was literally looking at the shark. And we always call ourselves sharks in the ocean, me and Svenja, because we need to continuously move or we would die. And that's always our thing, that we're always moving, you know, that we always need to be in fresh water, and we always, you know, but it's really, yeah, that growing part is quite amazing. Seeing him grow, getting his own attitude, his little lies that he does now. You know, he'll be taking my phone without me seeing, and then he'll be playing with it, and then when I come up behind him and he sees me, he gives me this look, and then he looks at my phone, and then he'll kind of give me the phone as if he took the phone to give it to me.
That, I mean, and coming now to parenting, because I guess the parenting in terms of how to educate or raise them, that comes a bit later, right? The first month there's not much you do here. But I remember clearly the first situation where he was in the kitchen and he touched the oven door, and there was something in the oven, and I actually told him not to because it's hot. And he would look at me and I would say nein, which means no in German. And he looks at me and he keeps on looking at me and keeps on touching the oven while I say nein. And you could clearly see that he's waiting for my reaction, and he is testing me, or he's testing, like, what is happening if I keep on touching and she's saying nein in this voice that I normally don't hear from her. And so actually you just want to laugh because it's really cute and funny because he's very small, but then I'm thinking, well, actually I shouldn't laugh because he should understand that that's not something he should do. So yeah, now the parenting part starts already.
Exactly.
Yeah, it starts. So you need to think about it. I remember the other day, he did something, I said nine, and then Mo was kind of laughing because it was kind of funny, but it's like, we need to be on the same page, and he's like, oh yeah, shit, okay, nine. And
it's funny that for him, no is in German, it's nine.
So apparently the best language to raise dogs is German.
Children are a little bit like dogs, to be fair.
Yeah.
Especially in the beginning.
So yeah, I believe that. I mean that now you have to consciously make decisions about parenting, and this will get more and more, I guess, now in the coming weeks, months, years. Which was really interesting. This first moment of, oh, I need to start parenting now. Oh.
Yeah. It's funny, but you really could see the pushing. He really pushes the boundaries. He pushes and sees what he can get, what he cannot get, right? I think we'll be in a terrible 2 situation in a few months, to be honest. I think for him it will come in a little bit faster, which is going to be a lot more of that's going to be a very interesting part of the whole parenting stuff. But,
and I mean, here we had one question we have written down is, how did you navigate any potential differences in parenting styles? And I guess this is really still to come in terms of, like, I think at the beginning we discussed it already now, but I guess now for the future, I'm not sure, like, once he goes to school or there's like,
you mean like this positive parenting stuff that you wanted to apply? This, like, Munaui, I don't think that what you want to do is this, but what I believe is 9. I don't care what you want to do. You will do what I want you to do, and that's it. I will give you a certain amount of space for you to be yourself, but you need to realize, like in the world we live in today, there are limits. Yeah, there are certain things that you cannot do and you can do. Yeah, and that's.
But I mean, that's exactly my point. Out there, moms and dads might have different.
Of course,
views
that's their point of view, and that's the way they want to do it. This will be mine. Yeah, and I mean, your positive parenting thing did not last as long as you wanted.
No, I didn't want to use it. It
Yeah,
was
but you
actually
brought
after
it
the
up.
oven situation. Okay, let's get into this now,
You
because
brought it up.
we did have a fight actually about this one, and I think it's good to share. So after this oven situation that I was explaining before,
Where you said 9.
where I said 9, and then I was like, okay, now what is the right way to what should I do in this situation correctly?
There's not a right way. There's what way is it that makes you comfortable.
Exactly, you are right. But me being I'm a fact
Sure.
person. I like knowledge. I like facts. So I was like, let's do some research on what different ways are out there. And so one of the ways is this positive parenting style. It doesn't mean that you always need to be positive. It is a language topic. It's about you phrase things in a positive way. So you don't say 9. You say, let's look at something else, or you try to distract or whatever. So and I can just seeing his face, like I can't even talk about it without him getting aggravated.
I'm not aggravated. Because my answer that's going to come up is just going to.
But that was my point. I was just looking into it. I didn't say that I want to do that, or we should go that route. I just said that I looked at it, and he was furious. I brought it up to discuss it.
I know, but you brought it up, and it's like I was like, but then the thing is, you brought it up, but you say 9 all the time, like it's not you actually.
But I can still bring it up, and that was my point. You can bring it up and discuss about it and come to a different conclusion. But he immediately went, no, 9. So, and we had that little, discussion there, as you can see, and I guess this is also one of the causes. I mean, you try to look at facts, but at the end we're humans and we're not very logical. And every kid is different, etc. There is no right or wrong, and things are always emotional. So discussions always end up to be emotional, because it is very hard to emotionalize those discussions. And so me just bringing up this positive parenting topic, and I just brought it up, and I didn't even say that I want to do it, but it caused so many emotions on your side that you immediately went against it, where I just got angry that I could not have a fact-based discussion.
I understand. But just want to say, do you still think, or do you want to do a positive parenting? There's this TikTok video out there that I really love, and it's of this woman, and she's like, yes, of course I did positive parenting with you. And the daughter is like, what? She's like, yeah, I did positive parenting. You're alive, right? There you go. That's positive. I was like, this is the greatest thing. There we go. This is like, yes, Munaui, Daddy did positive parenting with you. But anyways, what do you think about the whole positive?
Well, to be fair, I didn't look into details, but I believe I'm not the person to follow that.
I looked into it.
I have not that much patience.
But I looked into it afterwards, because you said.
You did?
Yes, I did.
You never told me.
I did. I told you. You just never listened to me. But I did look into it, and I told you. Remember, you said it was French, but it wasn't, and I was like, it's not really that true. And then it was the positive, the giving them a different option. Yeah, this is that. Like, no, that's not what you want. Actually, what you want is this, and not saying no. This is also kind of thing. But yeah, I don't have the patience for it, and I think we were not brought up on that style of parenting. Yeah, so. And
what I believe, what I was then thinking about is what my mom said, and like, okay, guys, don't overcomplicate.
Yeah.
And honestly, that's just what I'm thinking. Like, I'm not gonna look up anything anymore. I'll just go with my gut.
Go with your gut. Exactly.
I will just go with what I feel in this situation is what I should do. I will, because what happened in this oven situation, I just didn't know what to do. I was really a bit lost for a second there. And so I wanted to look it up. What is the right way? But meanwhile, I realized there is no right way.
I think you didn't trust your gut.
Exactly.
Because you knew what was the right thing to do. Take his hand off and say 9. That was the right thing to do.
For us.
Yeah, for us. But that, again, this is, we're talking about us right now. There's no other guess on the thing. That was the right way to do for us. It's the same thing for me. When he's hitting or trying to take out a bottle of wine, I'm like 9. Not for you yet. One day, but not now. Right? If he's touching our art pieces, 9. No. And I'm not going to be like, Munaui, you want to touch what you want to do is actually you want to touch this, or no, like no,
Mm.
you don't do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think you really have to be consistent here.
But
Yeah.
it's interesting because that goes into another question that we have: is there a parenting style that our parents applied to us that we would like to apply to Munaui or not? Which is going with your gut, with Mama said.
Yeah, I think honestly they were. I mean, that's what they said, right? At their time, they did research on what's the best parenting
Yeah,
style. I
there
mean,
was
they
no
just
research.
they just did what they thought is
What was
correct.
right,
Yeah.
exactly.
So, and I think it worked out quite well.
Yeah,
And
for us.
yeah,
Yeah, sometimes.
I mean,
there is
you-
some stuff that, like our dads, they were a lot more on the rougher side, yeah. This is kind of where I wouldn't want to apply those.
Definitely not. Yeah. So
But,
no, what like I remember one thing that I remember from my childhood is the eating part. So I was always very skinny, and very small. So I was
Still
always
small.
not that skinny.
I didn't say it.
But you thought it. Yeah. So. Yeah, that eating part, and I remember I wasn't allowed to leave the table until I finished my plate, and I also wasn't allowed to drink while I was eating. And yeah, I would probably not do that to Munaui. I would probably try to be more relaxed. Also let him drink.
But that took a little bit of time.
It took some
because
time.
that was one of your fears.
Exactly, and because Munaui is also more on the skinny side. And the first month, I mean, my biggest worry was that he wouldn't gain enough weight quickly. So that's why I was so worried about that eating part. But yeah, meanwhile, I also put that away.
Yeah. We can't put our fears onto him.
No,
This
exactly.
is not. I mean, my fear is for him to be overweight. Yeah, the same like me. Yeah, but we just can't do it. Yeah, we just have to. I think that's also one of the parenting things is we cannot put our fears on our child. Yeah, he's going to have to make his own fears, and he's going to have to live his own adventures and all of that stuff. Yeah, it's yeah. And it goes really good. It ties in really good actually into the next question was, is there something Munaui taught you about yourself or about life? And it really is you look more into yourself and who you are and who you want Munaui to be or not to be. You really start questioning more of who you are, and it's like, okay, am I like this because of this? I think and I always did a retrospective. I really enjoy looking into myself and seeing like, why am I doing certain things in certain ways? Now, do I change all of those things? No. And there are some things in me that, like, I know I'm overweight because of some childhood trauma that, that was my safe spot. Yeah, was just eating and cooking and, it was not my safe spot. And I know that's one of my biggest, things. But I know that. I always can look into myself and know like, okay, that's one of my things, right? But it's very hard to change those things. And I think this is something that Munaui even taught me even more, is to look into myself more and more, deeper inside.
Yeah, I love this question, to be honest. This is a really nice one.
And a friend of ours actually gave that question to me.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, well, I did, and I was like, I came back home and I didn't even came back home. I just wrote it directly into my phone. I was like, that is such a great fucking question.
Right,
what did your child teach you?
And yeah, I think, as you say, you start reflecting about yourself. So because I think that's also natural when you see your kid grow. You always try to identify, hey, this is me, or hey, this is daddy. But of course, you cannot forget they're their own person. Yeah. And they'll be their own person, which is how it should be. Yeah. But for me, actually, it was more on the work side, where I feel I'm more balanced with my work, with the career. Especially at the very beginning when I went back to work when he was 4 months old, and I was I had the privilege to be able to work from home during that time. And just in between meetings, I could go and to the living room and have a little cuddle or change a diaper, and just looking into this innocent face makes you, just relaxes you right away.
So you think it made you work smarter, not harder?
Yeah,
Like you actually
100%.
prioritize?
100%. This is also something where I would advise everyone who's working super and doesn't have kids and maybe is single and they work day and night, but no, you shouldn't, because if you have a kid, it's two, you just have to prioritize because you want to spend time with your kid. And
I mean, you're not going to be there 100% of the time, but you need to maximize the amount of time you can spend with them.
Exactly. So I remember reading one article from a former board member from my company, and she said that
I know exactly who it is.
let's not call out names, but she wrote a book and she explained once she had kids and she had twins. That's another challenge. And then she said she would actually leave the. Sorry, I'm just stopping here because I hear a baby cry in the background. Give us 1 second. Just gonna quickly check the video onto the camera.
I think he doesn't want to sleep.
Okay, so coming back to the topic, so what happened is she then blocked her calendar from 5 to 7 every day, and she would leave the office. At 5 to pick up her kids from nursery, and she had to go because she had to pick up the kids. And if you have this kind of schedule, you are automatically prioritizing because you have to leave. And of course, the person was available afterwards, again for meetings, etc. But it is possible, you can make those decisions. Whereas before, when you didn't have kids, you thought you have to stay in the office and work till, 8, 9, 10 p.m. But it is possible to do it in a different way. And I definitely say this is what Munaui taught me, to work smarter.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. The fun part is that it's a lot of things that what you learn, what they teach you, what he teaches, because there will not be there, it will be only one, but what he teaches is a really positive thing. You really look into yourself and you want to become better, right? And that's the thing, you really want to become better. Almost, it's very funny.
You want to, that's true.
You want to become better. Yeah, it's great. I think you also know that the world is pretty shitty outside sometimes. There's beauty in the world, but there's also a lot of darkness, and you want to be this kind of light or beacon of positivity. We don't like to use that word, but it's a really positive. It's kind of funny. I think also for me, one thing was quality over quantity. There's quality time, not quantity time. I don't need to be 24 hours a day, 7 days a week with Munaui. And I think, and I realize that it's the same like in a relationship. It's the quality time that's important, not the quality. It's the quality, not the quantity. My God, sorry. It's the quality, not the quantity. Yeah. I mean, look, during COVID, the amount of divorces that went up because people were spending so much time with each other, right? But actually, for us it was different, but it's really that, it's finding that quality time with the child and spending 150% in that moment. And I think for me, that is also something that I kind of really learned about myself.
Yeah, true. They really try to get the best out of you and the worst. It's both ways. The sleepless nights just get out the worst because it feels like torture sometimes.
It is torture. There is torture of people. They torture you by not giving you sleep. It's a torturing method.
But on the other side, they bring out the best because you want to be your best for them.
Yeah, you want to be your best for them.
And I think, and that's nice, we also translate it to our partnership. We want to be the best together also for him, because I think it is so important for children to see the love and to see how we're, kissing, holding hands, just to see that.
Yeah, I think it was really funny because a lot of people also ask us now that we have a child. It's like, oh yeah, so now you're going to settle down, children need stability and whatnot. But I came to realize that having a physical stability is not important. It's actually emotional, and the stability of the couple is actually what's important, not wherever you physically live. That doesn't matter because you have homes, you have people out there with families who are not stable in a couple, but they have a stable home. They live in the same village, they live in the same house, blah, blah, blah. Yet, it's not great. But it's actually, that's also something that I've come to realize. It's stability in your own, in the relationship, and this is way more important than the actual physical, stable place.
Yeah, no, I agree 100%. And maybe just for the listeners that haven't heard our podcast before, we are moving quite a bit. So every 2, 3, 4 years we're changing countries, and a lot of people said, oh, once you have a kid you can't do that anymore. But we will keep on doing that as long as we want to, and we still feel like we want to.
Yeah, as long as we're stable within ourselves.
Exactly.
That's the most important.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And for us, we've never felt unstable because of we're moving. I think there's just, for us it was, we always said we are each other's rocks, and wherever we are together, that's where home is, and we give each other enough stability. And the rest is exploring and experiencing. That's why we're doing it, because we're enjoying it.
Yeah, the stability comes from the fact that we both have our roles and we're strong in our roles. There is no mixed match on roles, or that's as stable as I'm this, you're this. We have our roles, and it's very clear.
And I think we're also very confident. We're very confident, and we are. When we met 13 years ago, we were both very content with ourselves. We were happy.
Super happy.
We were both in a very good place. So I think that, but I think this is also why it derailed us so much when suddenly we started fighting, because we're like, this cannot happen. We are each other's rocks. Like, this is everything that holds everything together. Like, we cannot shake this up. This one needs to be stable. And I really.
It's finding our footing, actually.
Yeah.
I think that's what it is. It rocked our bed, like, our rock bed, and it was, we were trying to find ourselves and how to now navigate in this new, ocean, and we weren't really, we didn't know how to do it, and then that was the instability of it was the problem.
And I think it's and that's interesting, because we do that. Jumping, going out of our comfort zone, we're doing that regularly by moving around, by being constantly in new environments where we have to settle again, and where we have to find new friends, get to know what is the best milk or whatever, and we do that on purpose, because we and remember, we said that once, we are comfortable being uncomfortable, which is so interesting, but really Munaui made us so uncomfortable.
He did. Sorry, go ahead. I thought about something, but I forgot already what I wanted to say.
No, but and I think he just shook it up a lot more than for us changing countries, changing environments, and so on. So, and that's interesting, because this also shows how much change a kid means. And for us, having been very experienced in a common, like being able to adapt to change together, because this is always, I remember the first move we did together from Beijing to Tokyo, and I always said that this was the first real challenge for our relationship, because when you meet in a certain environment, you know that you work in this environment good together, but once you change that, then you actually see, is that relationship really gonna hold? Because that's where you can see the strength, I would say. And so we had those changes constantly, and we were always doing great and really actually flourishing. But then having Munaui, wow, was really
That was a big change.
that was a big one. And I think one part was also this, yeah, we were saying, well, not our whole life is gonna change. Like we can do our things the way we wanted to do it. But I think also we had to come to terms with, yes, there is change when a baby comes. This is not negative change, you know. And actually, we are people that love change. So I don't know why we were that much into, oh, when we have the baby, nothing
I
is
think it
gonna
was
change.
because a lot of people were always saying that, and it really became annoying.
Yeah.
It was very annoying.
Yeah.
It's just
And then I think
annoyance,
was this
you know.
proving to others nothing is gonna change. Well, it's good. It doesn't matter that it's okay. Now I think we've come to terms with it. Yes, it changes, but it doesn't mean you as an individual have to, you know, throw yourself out of the window.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, this
I
is.
mean, if anybody needs to be thrown out the window, it's the child.
I agree.
We love
I
them.
think.
We love them anyway. That's it. But sometimes mommy and daddy thinks about those things. Yeah, and any parent out there who says bullshit, they never think about that. I call even bigger bullshit. Yeah, this is really God's honest truth right there. Is that you think about your child not being here so many times. But yeah, it's it's a little bit over time. That's fine. Yeah, those who don't want to listen past it, they will stop before.
Yeah, I just looked at the time. No, I think we went looking at our questions. We pretty much.
I think the last one is, what would you like to say to your partner about what they did and how far they have come in this whole journey? But for me, I already said, Victoria, that extra, you being already an amazing woman in your career and who you are and your confidence and all of that, and then boom, you knock out of the park the whole mom thing. Yeah, it's even more like, I'm just like, oh my God, can she be even more perfect? Yeah, you know, I think that's for me is like just amazing how, yeah, just more and more amazing. It's just more and more amazing. Yeah, but that for me is the only thing.
Thank you, Munaui. This was very nice to hear. I have to say, I do feel confident in my mama role. Yeah, I do. And I was also quite sure before we had kids that I'll be a good mom. So that's not my insecurity. I have others, no doubt. No, but for you, I mean, but honestly, that has always amazed me. The way you can adopt and you really look into yourself and you always want to be your better self. And I remember, and that always amazed me. Yeah, when I said, I don't know, when things annoyed me or anything. Yeah, that I don't know. You were, I don't have a good example right now. And you were always looking into yourself, and when you agreed with it, you would change it. Yeah, I mean, and this is change yourself. This is probably the hardest thing to do, and that was now the same thing. You know, like what you said at the beginning, you were insecure about being a dad, and that had then certain impacts on your reactions. That's not there at all anymore. Like
I'm still insecure about being a good dad. Yeah.
Yeah, but
I
can't
think
feel
this
it.
is-
But maybe just I can't feel it anymore as much. And I'm that's really, and I mean, I don't need to tell you, you are the best dad in the world. Like you do an amazing job with
I
Munaui.
do
You know, like the
best-
whole
best I can.
yeah, which is wow. Yeah, I mean, just talking about
It's
to
probably
give
the
another example. Yeah, let's talk about the food. So month 4, then you start with the real food. It's not just baby milk anymore. So or we started because the doctor advised us to. So there's also 10,000 different ways what you can do to introduce real food. You can start at different times in different ways and so on. So we decided we will just follow our pediatrician's advice, which we did. And yeah, Mo since then is doing everything. I mean, he's cooking, he thinks about what food to introduce, how to introduce it, how to cut it, how to, you know, what's the timing, and I mean, what's the allergens in there, can we do this now, can we do this later. And Munaui is an amazing eater. I mean, he doesn't eat super a lot, he eats perfect what he should eat, but he eats everything. I mean, he had, what did he have last week? Octopus?
Octopus, truffle, shrimp.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
He
mean,
really loves truffle.
yeah.
By the way.
Uh, yeah, so, and this is amazing. Yeah, I mean, that's all on you. That's all what you just did that and you mastered it like, that's easy. Give me the next one. So no, this is really all on you, all credit on you. The same with the physical stuff. I mean, Munaui was a very fast walker, and he's really good in all the motoric skills. And of course, there's just different kids. Yeah, so I was very slow. Apparently, my brother too. We started walking late and so on. And that's totally fine. But I believe that also a big part came from the way you were with him, yeah, because you did not have these fears of that he would fall, and you were very encouraging him to move and to try
it's a controlled danger, as I call it.
Exactly.
It comes from somebody else, but I really and it's also thanks to Dr. Brenda. Yeah, she also was there for the support on how to move certain ways and teaching me how to do stuff. But yeah, it's a controlled. But yeah, thank you, Mel. Thank you very much.
Yeah, no, and also, and I have to say that again, it started during birth. I mean, you being there for me made such a difference. Like, I cannot even put that in words enough. Like, that was, I felt we are in there together. I did not feel alone. I felt we did it together. And also that the days, that was the hardest for me, the days and weeks afterwards, I knew you had Munaui. I knew I did not have to worry about our baby. I just had to worry about myself, getting myself back together. And that was such a support, and I know not all women have that. And this was incredible. And yes, I had this inner anger because I had to do the breastfeeding, and I had to get up every 3 hours to pump or to breastfeed. And you could have a night of sleep at that time, but that's not your fault, yeah. I mean, there's nothing you could do about it. But then once you were up and running, you were up and running, and you did everything, and that was incredible to see. You really grew, so much about your yeah. That was incredible. Yeah, that was really incredible, and it still is, because I know how hard it is. Because, by the way, I went back to work at month 4, and
she wanted to stay for 6 months, and I was like, that ain't gonna work. That's not gonna work. It wasn't. Like,
yeah, and honestly, I mean, for me, it was perfect, because I got out of this blurry baby face, and it really helped me to get back on track.
That was also good for me.
But yeah, that you managed him by yourself. I mean, there was no, because now you could say, oh well, the kid is a nursery, they have a nanny, but hey, at that time, Munaui was with you the whole day, and yes, we have support from our nanny, but she comes at night. So the whole day, Munaui was with you, and I know how exhausting
other
it is.
people's also, I mean, the whole nanny thing, I mean, this is another topic, but our night angel, yeah, she's part of the family, but a lot of people have family out there. We have no family, we have no extra hands.
Yeah.
So what you do is, when you're abroad, you get extra hands, yeah, because you have to, yeah, you have to make your own village. You create your own village, is what you do.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people are gonna be like, yeah, but they have this and that, and it's like, yeah, but we don't have what you have, or what other people have. Yeah, they have their whole support system, they have their whole family, they have all of these things that we don't have, because we live abroad. So you make do with what you have, and you make your own village.
Yeah, but I mean, again, you were, as of month 4, when I went back to work, you were alone with the kid for the whole day. Yeah, and you took care of him, and you did everything. You cooked, you cleaned him, you fed him, you
fed you.
Yeah, you fed me. Yes, right. You did my lunch. So yeah, and I think this was you. That was incredible. Yeah. Thank you, Mahaniponi, for being there for us.
Thank you for always being there for us and giving all of this life. That's all thanks to you. Yeah. It's because of you that we can do all of this. Yeah, it's because of us. Yeah, and your support team. Yeah, and
exactly.
This is all.
Behind every successful woman, there is a successful man.
I like to say, behind every successful partner, there's a successful partner.
Yeah, perfect ending, I would say.
Exactly. Just find your successful partner and find your supporting partner. I think this is the most important. I think, yeah, that's a great way to end it. Find that person who's going to support you in being the best you. Because being the best you as a parent is going to make the best child. Because a happy parent is a happy baby.
That is so true.
I
I
think that's
love you,
I
Mahoney.
love you too. That's a really good ending for this podcast.
I agree. All right. Talk to you guys all soon again.
I love you, my beautiful baby.
I love you.
That was a good one.
Again, tears.
Yeah, but that's normal. All right, let's do a quick.
Shall I turn off the video?